on a first date here in Dubai a few days ago, and I'm going to need some advice on this one. We've been talking for a few days, and I was like, this guy's personality is hilarious, like, really makes me laugh, seems really nice. He asked if I wanted to go for coffee.
Okay. Why is it always when ladies are ready to go on a first date, yeah, it's like the guy's personality is really nice, like your vibe is good, and then all of a sudden, yeah, let's go on a first date. Do you know what I mean? I can already tell there's going to be problems because she's got caught by the source very early on. Personality is really nice. Let's go for a couple. It don't sound like you got to know him enough, like over the phone. Like, did you ask any questions? But yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
I was like, yeah, sure, that's nice. When we were driving to the coffee shop, he turned around and said something about, oh, well, if you knew anything about me, you might throw yourself out of the car door. And I was like, that's a weird thing to say.
Oh,
Tell me more. We were chatting for ages, laughing. It was really nice. And we got into the topic of like childhood and growing up. He'd had quite a rough childhood. He was brought up in Pakistan. He'd said something about having been to prison a few times, and I was like, okay, let's.
okay. So what I want to know is, as soon as someone says they've been to prison, is that automatically a red flag for a lot of people? I got my views in terms of if it should be or if it shouldn't be. I think ultimately is what they did, where they are now, how long ago it was as well, what been their track record between now and said time that they did whatever they did, right? So there's so many different circumstances and nuances that you got to understand about the whole situation. But let's listen up.
Find out about this. The first story he told me, I should have run for the hills right then, but he said that he once kidnapped a woman from her bed and put her on the back of his bike and drove her to this guy. Now,
You. Okay, okay. So, if a man goes on a date with you and he turns around and says he once kidnapped a woman, put her on the back of his bike, um, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's screaming. If there's ever a red flag on the play, this might be it. This might be the red flag on the play because I don't know how you can even come back from this. I don't know how you come back from being like, yeah, you know what? I actually kidnapped someone, put him on the back of a bike. But hey, I don't know the full story, so let's hear the full story.
I was like, why'd you do that? And there was a guy that he was in a bit of trouble with, and it was his girlfriend. And he said, if you don't bring it to me, I'll you. And so he just
Oh,
pedaled on his little bicycle over to this girl's house, stole her from her bed, and took it to him. And I was like, oh, so that's why you went to prison? And he went, no, that's not why I went to prison. He said, I lost a few of my friends when I was younger. His best friend, someone had gone to his house and
hmm.
him while he was sleeping in his house. And I was like, oh my
Ooh,
God, that's absolutely terrible. Like, what happened to the guy that did it? And he said, he's not with us anymore.
oh,
So I said, what do you mean he's not with us anymore? And he said, well, I unloaded a magazine into him.
God,
And he said,
Lee.
I've done a few things in my past that I'm not proud of. If I could go back, I would do them differently. But when it's your best friend, like, you have to do what you got to do. And I was like, so you.
Okay, conflict resolution, guys. Resolution. Um, yeah. If the person's saying, hey, listen, if I could go back, I would do things differently. That's already sounding like regret to me. That's already sounding like, damn, I shouldn't have done this. This wasn't a good idea to do. I just realized I'm not even speaking into the mic. This isn't a good thing to do. Um, yeah, I'm not sure how you should kind of feel about that. To be honest, like someone does something to your friend, you go and seek retribution, you go and do your time. I can understand it. I don't agree with it, but I can understand it. Let's say I can understand it, right? But at the end of the day, you kind of got to assess from here what the guy's conflict resolution skills are like going forward. Because if he's still in that place where this is how he deals with things and all the rest of it, then it's a bit of a tricky one. It's a bit of a tricky one. You're kidnapping people. You're, you know, you're doing stuff to people to seek vengeance for your friend, man, it's only going to land you in a bad place, really and truly. So, as he learned his lesson, who knows? I'm not one to sit here and judge and be like, you should have done this, you should have done this, or you should have done something else. But what I will say is, if you got people in your life that love you and need you, as a man, there's no way you can not be there for those people. And putting yourself behind bars is not going to help those people. But let's see what she says with regards to dating this guy going forward.
Him. He's like, yeah, quite a few times. Okay. We carried on with the rest of the date, and I just kind of pretended I hadn't heard this because I was like, I'm not sure if he's just, joking. Yeah, so he dropped me off at my gym, and gave me a kiss on the cheek and said, hopefully I'll see you again before you leave. And I was like, yeah, that'd be nice. And then I literally did not know what to do with this information. I was like, okay, so I just went on a first date, and it turns out he's with a really cute face. And so I rang my mother, and she went, it's an interesting first date, isn't it, Dad?
Man, the cute face is always going to get them. Damn. The cute face, the looks is always going to make them overlook what's actually going on right now. I don't know, man. I think a lot of people need to kind of just understand. A lot of women need to understand that, hey, listen, you have to look at the whole picture. You cannot just get with someone just based on the vibes and the fact that you find them attractive. You can't use that to overlook all of the crazy stuff they may be doing or they may have done in the past. You got to add it all up and say, is this something that I can have in my life on a consistent basis? And is this something that's going to benefit me, or is this something I'm going to have to deal with at some point? You got to assess all of that before you decide that I still want to pursue this. Because once you start to like the person, I promise you, you ain't thinking about all that stuff again. You're not thinking about it again.
Darling, oh, you're not there for long. If you like him, see him again. I spoke to my best friend, and she went, good for him. If anyone did that to any of my friends, I'd come after them as well. And I was like,
Best friend's
okay,
Aggie.
right. So even just the fact that he's not a red flag these days, apparently. Like, what would you do? Would you see this person again? But he just seems like the nicest guy, and this was all, when he was younger, like 20 plus years ago. So, as a first date, great. So I went on a first date here in Dubai.
Okay, so to me, it sounds like she's definitely going to see this guy again, for sure. Um, if we think about, well, if she thinks about getting with this guy and what the future looks like, and if it's something short term, it could still be a little bit of a what I call flight risk. But if she's just in Dubai for a couple of weeks and she wants to see the guy again, but then again, what's the point? What is the point? What's the point seeing the guy again if it's like, you know, there's you're not interested in seeing them for a little while, or on a bit of a longer term situation. I don't really believe in people coming to each other's lives for like a short period of time. I'm like, listen, if you mess with that person, you mess with that person for a while at least, whilst you get to know them. But each and every one to their own. Sounds like a crazy first date. Sounds like she didn't really ask any questions beforehand to get to know the person before she even decided to go on a date, which is it's a bit of a red flag for me. And then once you find yourself on a date, it's not the norm to meet someone that's done something like this. So it's probably taken her back a bit, but because of the fact that they got along and there was a lot of vibes between them, it's made her feel like, okay, cool. You know what? I get along with this person. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. It sounds like that's what she's up to right now. So listen, let me know what you think. Drop some drop some comments on this one. I'd love to know what the general consensus is on this one, whether it's a red flag, whether it's something that you can overlook. And what are people willing to overlook these days, just in terms of the opposite sex? Is it just a case of if you find them attractive, cool, they could be anyone? Like, do you know what I mean? Or is it a case of there are some things where we just can't mess with that. We can't do that. So yeah, let's get a conversation started, and I'll see you in the next one.